بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Assalamu alaikum. Today is our second Islamic Studies online lesson. Today is Friday, March 27, 2020 and Sha'ban 2nd, 1441 AH in Islamic calendar. Jum'ah Mubarak to all of you. The previous lesson in Islamic Studies was about akhlaq and the topic was about jealousy. So today we are going to talk about another topic in our akhlaq unit, and that's about patience. Today's lesson about patience, or in Arabic, sabr. Which means, what's the meaning of patience or sabr? It means to be able to wait quietly in times of difficulty and hardship. It also means to be tolerant. So this is the meaning of sabr. We are all familiar with this word, with the word sabr, and we are quick to advise others to have sabr. So whenever we see people, they are in a difficult situation or they have a difficulty, quickly we advise them that be patient and have sabr and have patience. When they face those difficult times, so we advise them. But if we are faced with a similar situation, then we realize that how difficult it is to have sabr and to be patient. So we will start our class with hadith of the day. We have a hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that sabr is in three parts. The first one, sabr in times of hardship, when something goes wrong for you. Like today, these days, we have all of us, everyone in the whole world, we are having a hard time with the coronavirus, right? Everyone has to stay at home. Our lifestyle is completely changed. We can't go to school, we can't go outside. Everything is very difficult, right? We have to stay home. It's not easy to stay home the whole day, and but this is a hardship. This is a difficult time that we have to be patient. Number two is sabr in regards to obedience, so performing all of the wajibat correctly. This is also very important when it's time to pray salah, or when it's in this month of Ramadan especially. We have to be patient because days are very long and we can't eat during the day, we can't drink. So this is another kind of sabr. Number three, sabr in regards to disobedience, so not committing any haram acts, right? For example, you see a very juicy burger and you really want to eat it, but because you know that burger is not halal, so you don't eat it. This is called having sabr as well. So having sabr during the time that you really want something, but you know that if you do it, it's not halal, it's haram, right? Prophet Muhammad also said, there's another hadith that it says that patience is half of the faith. So it means that if a person can stay patient even after hardship, then that person has taken a big steps towards understanding his or her faith. So when we are patient, that's half of our faith, right? What's the other half of our faith? The other half is shukr, meaning thankful, to be thankful. If we have sabr, like during this difficult time, coronavirus, we have to stay home, we can't go to school. During this time, if we only have sabr, then that's half of our faith. The other half is we have to be thankful. We have to look at them, all the blessings that we have, and we have to say thank as well. So half of the faith is sabr and half is saying thank you and being thankful, right? So this was the beautiful hadith that I told you. Now Quran connection. The word sabr in the Quran is mentioned 103 times in 93 ayat and 45 surahs. So 103 times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the word sabr or patience in the Quran. That shows it's really important. And as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it's half of your faith, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran mentioned that Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin means indeed Allah is with those who have sabr. So we are told that if we have sabr, that then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there with us. And we know that if Allah is with us, then we have nothing to worry about, right? Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. This is a beautiful thing, that if Allah is with you, then you have to be very relaxed. You shouldn't worry about anything because Allah is with you. Or we have in another verse in Quran, فَاصْبِرْ إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. Be patient, the promise of Allah is true, right? So we have a lot of, as I said, we have a lot of verses in the Quran. There's another one says, those who practice sabr will receive a reward without measure. So if you stay patient, Allah will reward you without count, without measuring, right? And also it says that leadership is conditional upon having sabr. So if you want to be a leader, you should be patient. You should have a lot of sabr, because then people cannot follow you if you're not patient. And finally, the ultimate reward for sabr is Jannah. This is in Surah 13, Ayah 24. The reward for sabr is Jannah, meaning if we stay patient and we complete half of our faith by staying patient and having sabr, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us paradise, right? So now, as we said in the hadith, that sabr is not only to be patient in hardship time, but also in a time when we want to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't want to disobey or disobedient, or during the time that we have to do our wajibat, right? So as a Muslim, our life should pivot on sabr and shukr. So this is another point that we said, that half of our faith is sabr, half of our faith is shukr. Now I will tell you two stories. I will tell you one story about this topic, which is the story of Prophet Ayub. I'm sure a lot of you remember this story in grade 4, because we shared this story in grade 4 about the life of Prophet Ayub alayhi salam, right? And we said that Prophet Ayub is a good example, is a perfect example of someone that had patience during his time. So as you know, Prophet Ayub alayhi salam, he had a lot of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed his life with a lot of health and wealth and children, land, sheep, everything. He had everything, and he was very patient. He was very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shaitan asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said that Prophet Ayub is patient and he is thanking you because you give him a lot and you give him everything. So if you take away all his blessings, whatever he has, then he will not be patient. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that Prophet Ayub is very patient. So what happened is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took everything from Prophet Ayub, his children, wealth, health, everything. Even he was very sick, and he caused Prophet so what happened, he was very sick. He had a very bad disease that the people that was living with him in the same town, they forced him to leave his town as well. So suddenly he lost everything. But even though that he lost everything and the people asked him to leave the town, and nobody, even his family, nobody was able to visit him, Prophet Ayub still remained faithful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praying and thanking him every day, and like before, like the time that he had everything, the same way he was thanking Allah and he was praying. Not only did he have sabr, but also he was gratitude. He was saying shukr, and he was thanking Allah as well. So then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then shaitan also saw that even though he was in a very difficult time, he stayed very patient and he didn't complain, and he was praying the same way, and he was loving Allah the same way, he was doing his wajibat the same way, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave everything back to him. So this was a story that we can learn. This is a true story in the Quran that we can learn patience and sabr from the life of Prophet Ayub alayhi salam. So I said Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that faith is divided into two halves, right? One half is patience, sabr, and the other half is giving thanks or shukr. So I told you the story of Prophet Ayub about how he was patient during hard time or hardship. I will tell you another story about. I will share a very short and quickly story about giving thanks or staying thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A group of people came to our fourth Imam as-Sajjad alayhi salam, and said that they were in his Shi'as. So the people came and said, "Oh Imam Sajjad, we are your Shi'as." Imam alayhi salam asked them what they did when they got something nice. So Imam Sajjad said, when you receive something nice, what do you do? They replied that we say Alhamdulillah. Then Imam asked them what they did when something nice was taken away from them. So they replied that they got upset at first, but then they would come and they would just terms with it, right? So Imam alayhi salam asked them that if they did not get anything, they replied that they did nothing. So Imam alayhi salam said that these were not the action of a Shia. So he said that if you don't receive anything, you say nothing. And they said no, when we don't receive anything, we say nothing. So Imam alayhi salam said that these are not the action of a Shia. These actions were the same action as the dogs of Medina. So the name of the story is Dogs of Medina, right? So Imam said this action is Dogs of Medina. When the dogs were giving something, they would wag their tails in shukr to say thank you. But when something was taken away from those dogs, they would just bark a little, complain, and then they walk away. So when they got nothing, they did nothing. So Imam alayhi salam continued that Shia are those who say Alhamdulillah when they get something. They say Alhamdulillah when something is taken away from them, and Alhamdulillah when they get nothing. So when Allah gave them something, the Shia, this is the action of a Shia. When Allah gave them something, they say Alhamdulillah. When Allah takes something away from them, they also say Alhamdulillah. And when Allah is not giving them anything, also they say Alhamdulillah. So from this story, I want you guys to learn that during this difficult time that we are staying home, we have to be patient. This is half of our faith. We should have patience. Number two, we should be thankful. So we can't complain. We have to be patient, and we have to stay patient in these hardship time. And another example, the perfect example, is Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha. We know how Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha was patient in Karbala. So yesterday was the first Shaban, and it was the walad of Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha. I would like to congratulate the Imam of our time, all the Shia Muslims, and all of you. It was a very blessed day yesterday. It was a day of remembering Sayyidah Zainab and thanking the Almighty Allah for giving us such a great role model like Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha, right? So that's it for our today, the story, the lesson about Sabr. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us, grant us wisdom, and facilitate us in our striving to practice shukr and sabr, no matter our what is our circumstances, in any condition, condition that we are. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I ask Him to give us patience and gratitude. So we can stay patient and we can be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have one page in your workbook about this lesson. Please complete it, and whenever you're done you can submit it in portal. Take care of yourself, stay safe, stay patient, be patient, and be thankful. Don't forget to be patient, don't forget to be thankful, and don't forget to help your parents as well. في أمان الله.